Hello, my name is Jesse Meekum with another episode of The Jesse Meekum Show, and I'm here each week to obsess out loud about spending purposefully, saving aspirationally, and giving joyfully. It all comes down to just giving every dollar a job. And I'll tell you, if you're giving every dollar a job with a partner or spouse, it can be a little tricky. Or rather, if you've never tried giving every dollar a job with a spouse, it can be a little tricky. So I wanted to review maybe ways that we might start fights as it relates to money. This all, not all, but a lot of it relates back to this idea that when money is stressful and you're in a relationship, then that stress pervades kind of everything about the relationship. So I don't mean everything about the relationship, but I mean everything money related. So you can say, well, let's just dive right in. The first way that you might be able to start a money fight is by having, coming in with a leading question. Now, it could be something like, did you really need to buy that $300 jacket? And y'all know I love jackets, so this one's near and dear to my heart. It could be that, but I would submit to you that it can be even more benign. It could be something like, oh, you got a new jacket. And that right there already just gets the other person going, because there's all kinds of built-in assumptions and accusations, frankly, a misunderstanding of each other's priorities. And because that stress pervades anything to do with money, well, there we are. We could do another way to start a good row is the ultimatum. So we could say something like, listen, you're being responsible, and you're like, we really need to save more. We need to stop spending so much. We need to do better with money. And it's just kind of like everything's vague, but there's energy behind it. And the energy is real because the stress is real. And so you come in just like, we need to do better. And there's no definition of what your desired outcome is be. It's just, you're in a sense just maybe kind of blaming the other person's. It could be done pointed at you also, but usually the person that comes in kind of full of energy, leading that charge and spouting all those, we need to do this, we got to do better. That can be hard to hear. And both partners kind of feel like they're doing the hard thing in that situation. There's the unfair comparison. That's a good way to get things going a little bit discussion-wise, and I don't mean that in a healthy way. The Johnsons, the Joneses, they just started a home renovation, and we haven't done anything. And it can make your spouse feel like, a little bit unseen, I would say. What are their priorities? Do they care about a home renovation? Do they care about the Johnsons or the Jones at all? You're really trying to transplant like your neighbor's values into your own, into your spouse's values. And there's just, why? Why would we ever do that? We would never worry about what someone else is doing with their money. But often that's a way to kind of indirectly make an accusation, is just by talking about, comparing, really. And perhaps the most pernicious way to start a fight is you don't start a fight at all. Well, until it just blows up on its own. But you might call this one the long silence. And you just never talk about money until you do. And then it's a doozy. There's this undercurrent of stress that we've already talked about. And what you're doing is just letting it build and build and build. And this leads to what I might title explosive arguments. I mean, this is where you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, why did that get me so upset? Why did that get them so upset? This tiny little comment, this tiny little thing, this tiny little stressor. But what you're not realizing is there's this whole brew that's happening underneath that is extremely stressful, and it's just finally come to a head. And so there you have it. I'll just leave you the video there. Just 4 ways to start a fight about, no, I'm just kidding. How do we fix this? How do we fix it? You need to have a real conversation, not necessarily about money, but about priorities. Imagine asking your spouse in this, just in a good moment, right? What do we want to do? What do we want to do with our money? Lean in there, because we allows you both to kind of stand shoulder to shoulder and analyze things together. And then when you can dig a little deeper, you can ask like, well, specifically for you though, what do you want our money to do? What do you want the money in this relationship to do for you specifically, like just you. And it'll almost certainly involve some digging. You'll be questioning each other's assumptions, perhaps, kind of how you were raised, what the money stories were that you saw play out when you were a kid, and it can be enlightening. But explore what you want from money. Like dream a little, imagine a little, and see if communication doesn't start flowing. Now, this is a plug for YNAB here. You can try a free trial, but the software that you use, you can basically be looking at our software and then just you're both shoulder to shoulder and you're looking at the external thing. That you're not looking at each other like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? You're just looking at the plan and you're saying, okay, what do we need YNAB to do? What do we need our money to do for us? What is YNAB saying? And again, try the software, ynab.com/Jesse, free 34-day trial, no credit card required. But what it's going to do is allow it to just, it's another thing. It's not each other that you're attacking or looking at or evaluating. It's not another spouse saying no. It's YNAB saying, hey, here's reality. How do we build stability? Let's dig in on some resilience. Let's start creating. Let's be flexible. We've worked through giving every dollar a job with all 5 questions right there. And you're just going to be doing that over and over again. Talk about money openly. Talk about money often. Hey, I went and bought this today. I'm feeling kind of buyer's remorse. What do you think that's about? Or, hey, look at what I bought. I'm so excited. I can't believe that I was able to save up for those 3 months. And now it's like, it's the first time I bought something fun and frivolous. And it's just for me. And I don't feel bad about it. Like that is a victory. Celebrate that with your partner. If you're finding it's really tough to dig into these issues and it's just tough to navigate, you may consider professional counseling. You could have someone there that's like skilled, trained. I can't tell you how many people have said, why didn't we do this sooner? Why didn't we start out with this? So yeah, consider that. Like that's a win. That's being smart. That's using every tool at your disposal and saying, I'm going to make this work. We're going to make this work. So consider that. The insights you can gain are just absolutely astounding. At the end of the day, when you're sharing money with someone, you're sharing one of the biggest things in your life. And because with that someone, you're likely sharing all of the other big things anyway, it makes sense to also share the other big thing. You got health, relationships, you've got money right up there. And if you can learn how to share that one well, giving every dollar a job together, my word, the relationship, it'll be completely different. It'll be so much better. And unfortunately, so many couples walk around carrying so much money stress that it's a strain on their relationship instead of a blessing. A blessing on a relationship that comes about simply because that couple has learned how to give every dollar a job.